Good afternoon, and how are you today? My name is Michelle Dutrissa, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up in New South Wales. Okay, well today what I thought we'd play with, this is my first play with Eden's Garden. Eden's Garden is an exclusive product bundle that will be coming out as of the 2nd of November until the 3rd of January, and then you will find only the stamp set and the dies in the new mini catalogue come January. So just to give you a little bit of a rundown, this is an exclusive bundle at this moment because they've added a couple of products in there, and those products are only available while stocks last. So it's a beautiful range of stamps and dies, and it's all in those lovely green tonings. So, and I think this is something that could very easily be adapted for the Australian Christmas as well. So if we have a look, you have got the Eden Garden bundle, okay, which is a lovely stamp set. So you've got your stamp set, which I've got here, and I've just popped my dies in the inside here, but just to quickly show you what the dies look like. Just a bit of playing around I did last night. But you've got a lovely sort of a rectangular wreath type die. Then you have this beautiful edging die. And then we've got another little wreath one, but just that tiny little one, which is the one that I've cut out here. And that's just gorgeous. Haven't quite worked out how I'm going to use these as yet, but I can't wait to play. Then we have another die which we'll be cutting today that you can put your sentiment on, and just another little die here that just cuts out little sprig of leaves. So we'll be playing with both of those two dies today, and a couple of the stamps from the stamp set. So that's in the bundle and as the stamps and dies, and this will be what you will find in the mini catalogue come January. But as I said, from the 2nd of November through to the 3rd of January, what they've done is they've added a couple of extras into the bundle. So let me just show you what these are. These are the designer series papers, and this is called Ever Eden, and it's a beautiful range of papers. So as you can see, it's got a little bit of gold foil on there, some beautiful designs. That one doesn't have any gold foil, but I love it. Oh, actually it does. It has like a little dot. And then you've got this one here, and this beautiful one here at the bottom. The colours used in this are your evening evergreen and your soft succulent. And if we turn these over, these are the reverse. So some really beautiful, hello Margaret, how are you? Some beautiful designer series papers and some lovely soft tonings, and I love the ombre in that one. And then that one. So they're the papers that come with it. There's also another pack of paper as well that goes with it, and it's a cotton, just let me get the name of it. It's Ever Eden, and it's a cotton paper. So it's like a little bit thicker than a tissue paper, and it has a glossy side on one side and it has a matte side on the other, and we'll be using the soft succulent in that today. And I did have a cut with it, cutting it with dies, and it cuts really well with the dies. So again, there's your matte. If I flip that over, you can see the difference between the matte and then the shiny side on that side. So beautiful paper with that one as well. And the other item they've added into this product bundle is your garden gems. So these come in 3mm, 4mm, and then in your cherry cobbler, and then in the soft succulent you've got this like a teardrop, well not quite a teardrop, it's sort of must a cat's eye type shape one as well. So we're going to be using these ones here in the cherry cobbler today in my card as well. So This particular bundle, if you want to purchase the whole bundle, as I said, you can do from the 2nd of November. If you want to contact me, I can give you the product numbers and so forth. And that whole collection is $144 if you want to purchase the whole lot. Now, as I said, hi Lenny, how are you? As I said before, it will be available only while stocks last. So that is from the 2nd of November to the 3rd of January. So if you do want this, I'd jump in pretty quickly as of the 2nd of November. But then after the 3rd of January, your Eden's Garden bundle, which is just your stamps and your dies, will be found in the mini catalogue. So if you want the designer series papers, be ready to go for those on the 2nd of November. So what we're going to make today, let me just bring my card out so you can see my card. This is a card that I found on YouTube the other day when I was having a bit of a look, and I've cased it from a lady called Kim Fee, and she is with, so I've got it written down here, got to read my writing, Simple Fairies, I think it is, Papercraft. So she's got a video on this, and it was a beautiful card that she'd made, so I thought I'm going to case this. I'm sort of not really sure how much I like this card myself at the moment. My husband says it's pretty good, so I'm going to go with that, and we're going to make another one. And what makes this card a little bit different is it's got a hinge on the side and opens up like that. So it's a different sort of card. So that's why I thought I'd give it a bit of a try today. So let me just go through what the products that we need in this. So let me grab what we need. So we need a card base for the back of our card, which is 10.5 centimeters by 14.9. And I will put all these measurements up on my blog. And unfortunately, I didn't get around to blogging last Friday's live. So looks like I'm going to be busy this weekend. I have 2 lives to blog. So anyway, our card base is 10.5 by 14.9. So that's half of what we would normally cut for our card base. Then we've got the piece for our card front, and that's 7.5 centimeters by 14.9, and you need one of those. You then need that strip, or like that hinge piece that we're going to put on our card, and that's 3.5 centimeters by 14 centimeters, and we're going to score that at 6.5 centimeters. That designer series paper, we need a piece for our back, which is going to be 10 by 14.4. And then we need 2 pieces, because when we open this card up, you've got your designer series paper here, but when we open it up, we've also got a piece of designer series paper on the inside, and that's just to cover up those hinged areas on the inside of our card. So you need 2 pieces, and the other piece I've left here. We need 2 pieces, which is 7 centimeters by 14.4. And I've also cut a piece of basic white to go on the inside of our card also, and that's at 7 by 14.4. And then you'll need a piece of the soft succulent in the cotton paper. I've grabbed some of this metallic, which is the gold and rose gold metallic specialty paper, which is in our annual catalogue, excuse me. And we're going to be cutting out these little, well, I've already done it. We're going to cut out these little sprigs of leaves. You need 4 of those. And then we're going to have a strip of basic white to cut out our sentiment banner. And with our, getting back to our cotton paper, we're actually going to cut that with our circle die from our nested circles dies. So that's what we need to, they're all the products we need to make this card. So we're going to take this designer series paper away and just start with these pieces here, and we're going to start putting our card together. So let me just remove all my post-it notes, And as I said, I will put this up on my blog so you've got all the measurements. Now I am going to pop a little mark on here at around about 2 inches, and that's just where is going to be the top of my banner or my hinge piece. So you've taken that piece, which I said was 14 centimeters by 3.5, and you've scored it at 6.5. So I've made this a little bit smaller than what Kim had done. I'm not quite sure why she's gone not quite in the halfway, but it doesn't really matter. And we're going to put this smaller piece onto this. Now, where I've made that mark on there is where I'm going to actually, there's my score line there, and I've already pre-folded it. I'm just going to burnish that anyway. And that's going to sit, that score line is going to sit right on the edge of our cardstock here. And the reason why I've put that 2 centimeter or 2 inch mark on there is so then I can line up the top edge of this hinge piece with that 2 inch mark. So I sort of haven't gone exactly in the middle, it's a little bit higher up, but I didn't go too far off the middle because I didn't want the card to become too sort of rocky in that join area. If it was sort of more towards the top, more towards the bottom, I thought it might sort of have a lot more movement in it. So I've just gone a little bit above halfway. I think halfway is around about there, if my memory serves me correct. So I'm just going to put, using our multi-purpose glue, just put a bit of glue onto the back of this card. And as I said, we're just going to line that up. So what you want to do is probably fold that and line that up with that 2 inch mark. So if my 2 inches is there, so that's at the top of that hinge, and I've just lined that up completely. Okay, once we've done that, I'm going to then just sit this on top of, so this is our front panel, and I'm sitting it on top of the back panel, just so I can work out where I'm going to position this. So I do want to work it out. So I'm lining it up here also with my measurements at the bottom, and I do have this in inches at the moment. And I'm just working out roughly where center is. So I'm just centerizing this on here, and I'm going to draw a line along that edge of my front on that hinge there, just so I know where I'm going to be putting my adhesive. So I've got my line just there. Unfortunately, it's on the evening evergreen, so it is fairly dark. So I need to put my adhesive on this side of that line, and I'm going to line this up again. And layer that on there. So while I've still got a little bit of time, with the glue still being wet and movable, I'm just going to make sure that I've got, yes, I've got that fairly square. When I made my other one, I didn't quite get it as square as what I would like. Just pop that on there. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a rub down just to make sure that's adhered. So that's basically now our card. So now we're just left with decorating it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the inside of my card with first. So I need this piece of designer series paper, which was the 10 by 14.4. And again, we're just going to pop some multi-purpose glue onto the back. Must be getting fairly light on glue in this bottle. Put a little bit on there, and we're going to pop that on there. You do have an edge all the way around, about 2.5 mil all the way around there. So we're going to pop one onto there, and then we're going to grab these other 2 pieces we had here, the designer series paper, and this was 7 centimeters by 14.4, and we're going to pop one piece on this side here. So I hope you all are having a lovely day today. It's beautiful weather here in the Highlands. Went out this morning with sort of clothes to suit a cool day, and then got very hot and had to come home and get changed into my summer clothes. So 2 seasons in one day, and it is predicted we might get some rain, so you never know. I might have to getting changed again. Okay, so now this is the front part, and we're just putting a bit of glue on the back of that, and we're going to adhere this to the front of our card. So we have our inside and our front of our card, and that's covering all of that hinged area underneath. So now we're left with decorating. So what I was going to say is I'm going to grab this piece here of our cotton paper, and put my lid on that before that dries out, and we get our mini cut and emboss machine. Set up my plates 1 and 2 on that, and I'm going to use the matte side of our cotton paper, so I'm putting that upright with our circle down on top of that, and we're just going to run through. And I was really pleased with the way this cotton paper actually cuts. It cuts very, very well in the cut and emboss machine. So there's our circle die, and now I'm terribly sorry I can't see comments, so please just bear with me. At least this time though my tablet is working, it's not freezing up on me. So there's our circle cut out. I've already pre-cut, as I said before, 4 of these using this little die. They look quite cute in that. And then we need to cut 1 more, which is for our sentiment. Pop all that on there, that plate onto there. Make sure we've got that going through. Yes. Oops. And cut that one as well. So we're finished with that. We'll pop that away for the moment. Pull that one out. Just very gently pop this out of the die. And there's our piece for our sentiment. So I've got the stamps here we're going to be using today, and the inks that we're going to be using, because I've kept pretty much within the colour of the designer series paper. We're going to be using Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. So first off, I'm going to stamp the sentiment on here, Evening Evergreen, and I'm just going to very lightly tap my stamp down, making sure I've got it the right way up. I'm just going to line my little banner up with the lines on my grid paper, and once I think I've got that centered, I'm just going to stamp that down. Just hold it there for a couple of seconds just to make sure that that ink has absorbed onto the paper. And there we are. Beautiful. So I'm very happy with that. Okay. The other part that we need to stamp is for the insert of our card, which is this piece here. And all I've done here is stamp one at the top and one at the bottom. So we're going to do that again. Now, the only thing I had issues with this stamp here is I was getting like a darker line around my edges. And I think that was just because I was pushing a little bit too hard on my stamp pad. So you just need to remember really just to tap lightly when you're using these stamp pads, because they are a foam and it is very easy sort of to push down too hard. But just if you tap quite lightly, just check you've got coverage, and I'm actually really happy with that. And I can see even now I'm not getting those lines around the edges, so this is going to probably be a lot better. And I want to stamp this off just there. Now this is a distinctive stamp set, so you will get all your different shades of your, as you can see there, you get lots of different sort of shades of that Soft Succulent. So it is a beautiful stamp set to use. Just remember just to tap it lightly on your stamp pad, just to make sure that you've got a nice coverage. You do not need to push that down. So I'm just going to turn this a little bit and going to bring it down. So I've got a bigger image up there, and I'm wanting to do just a slightly smaller image at the bottom. So that's that. So that's just a little tip for using your distinctive stamps, is just to tap it lightly. You don't want to have it too juicy. Okay. So once you've done that, we need now to adhere this onto the inside of our card. So again, I'm just using my multi-purpose glue. You can use your seal if you wish to use seal. And again, I need to just line this up. So I'm just going to roughly line it up on my grid paper here. And I'm just going to line this up. Now it's only covering the designer series paper. I haven't taken it right to the edge. So I'm quite happy with that. Just give that a good push down, and that should just hide nicely underneath there. So you've just got a nice little area here to pop your greetings to who you're giving this to. And now we're going to decorate this card here. So we're going to pop our circle on there. Now the reason why I've done a circle in your Soft Succulent is that when I was playing with this last night and putting this onto there and adding my gold without that piece underneath there, I sort of felt that these were almost getting a little bit lost. You couldn't actually quite see the leaves, and it was almost like there was ending up with too much gold in it. So by adding a little bit of contrast. Now that could even be a piece of vellum. It just breaks that area up and just sort of highlights and brings the focus back in from the designer series paper back in towards your sentiment and all the decorations you're doing around there. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive here. Now you can use your seal, and I'm just going to use my seal here because all I want to do is add just a little bit of adhesive across there just to hold that in place. Just done a second row there just to make sure I've got good coverage, and that's just going to sit just there. Now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of my sentiment, and on this piece here I'm going to add 3. I'm going to add 1 at each end and 1 in the middle. And you can take your backings off. Pop that sentiment across your card. Okay, just let me get rid of a little bit of this rubbish here. We don't need any of that anymore. Clean up as we go. It's probably a good rule for me. And then we're just going to grab these little green leaves and we're going to pop. You don't need too much glue. We're going to pop one and we're going to tuck it, oops, in underneath there on that side. And then we can bring in the second one. I have got a little bit of glue there where I didn't really want it, but that's okay because that will dry. And we've got enough happening there that it's going to not really be seen. Then we're going to do the same on this side here. So I'm just going to tuck one underneath there. And then another one. Just about there, like that. Okay, so this card is almost done. Now what we need to do is add some of the lovely gems on here. And to do that I'm going to take my take a pick tool. You've got 2 different sizes here, so I'm going to pop one little one just about there, and a big one there, and another little one just there. So that was a relatively easy card to do. I hope you've enjoyed that. So let me bring in my original. So there's my original. I have used a different background on this because I was playing so much last night with making this that I've nearly used up all this paper, and it is that this paper here is the reverse of this one, and it is quite a nice piece of paper. So that's quite a simple but fun little card to make. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed that card. I will put this up on my blog later on today or tomorrow. for you, for the all the measurements and everything, if you want to have a go. If you make one, please tag me in it so I can see what you've made, and hopefully I'll see you all again next Friday. So thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.